My name's Phil Cotton. I'm Vice-Chancellor of the University of Rwanda. The University of Rwanda is composed of 6 disciplinary colleges that operate on 10 campuses around the country. We've got the College of Arts and Social Sciences, the College of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine, the College of Business and Economics, the College of Education, the College of Medicine and Health Sciences, and the College of Science and Technology. Well, I'm Vice-Chancellor. I'm Vice-Chancellor in this university as the CEO of the organisation. Before I became Vice-Chancellor, I was principal of one of the colleges. I was the head of the College of Medicine and Health Sciences, and I work within my office with 4 Deputy Vice-Chancellors who all have wide-ranging portfolios. We have finance, strategic planning and administration, academic affairs and research, and institutional advancement. And the 4 Deputy Vice-Chancellors and myself work to provide the resources for the college principals, the heads of those colleges, to actually manage the staff and the students within their campuses and colleges. You know, are universities innovative? Are they enterprising? Well, they should be, because that's part of the nature of university. Because university is about change, it's about dealing with change, it's about dealing with uncertainty, both within the organisation but also in the wider world. It's about equipping young people with the skills that they need to face up to the challenges that they will encounter in their lives beyond university. So we're innovating in the way that we teach, in the way that we deliver programs. We're challenging the way that we sometimes teach in a rather transactional way. But before the process of teaching, we're beginning to focus more on learning. How do young people learn? The young people who come to university today are part of an instant generation. They want information, they want answers like that. People learn through experience, but one of the things we seldom do is actually connect with what people already know. And so actually acknowledging that people have prior learning before they come to the classroom is vitally important if you're to anchor in their life experience the ongoing learning. We're also beginning to question our obsession sometimes with knowledge-based intended learning outcomes. You know, because you can list and you can find in our documentation indicators of knowledge, competencies, skills, attributes, behaviours, values, attitudes. But we seem to focus on the knowledge. We seem to focus, when it comes to assessment, not on what students say and do, but we seem to focus almost exclusively on what they write. So we're looking at different ways of assessing as well. So we pay attention first and foremost to how students learn, the environment and the context, sometimes the physicality of that, the way that we teach, but also the way that we assess students so that it's valid, reliable, credible and meaningful, and also allows people to move on. A couple of red ticks on a page or 1 mark, a numeric score, doesn't allow people to understand why they might not have got as many marks as they thought. It doesn't allow them to improve, to identify the gaps in their knowledge. So getting this balance between formative and summative assessment is critical to what we do. And that's part of being innovative, that's part of being enterprising. I wouldn't pretend that we're any different from any other university, because I think all universities embrace that. Well, the University of Rwanda has to go in a direction, in part, where the nation is going. So if the nation is on a particular trajectory, then the university has to be on that same trajectory. But the university also has to anticipate the needs of a developing economy, for example, or a developing health service. And so as the health service becomes more sophisticated, the way in which we train and the different cadres that we train will necessarily change. You know, the people that we train now will be entering working lives for the next 20 or 30 years. So how do we equip them with the right skills to actually endure a changing workplace, to be ready for innovation and change? I think it comes down to what the nature of a university is. of young people. And within that space, you provide the opportunities for them to become the people they were always meant to become the human beings that they were created to be. And that's quite a complex thing to do when you've got 30,000 students in an institution, but it's very possible to do. You just have to agree and negotiate this different model of education. So rather than cramming that space, we need to actually reduce the amount of curriculum content that is no longer valid. We need to create different opportunities for people to learn themselves. We provide them with the framework, we provide them with the resources, and that's one of the changes that you will see in the University of Rwanda over the next period of 5 or 10 years. We will also be moving to work out the direction that our research really needs to go in, because at the moment we have improved our research profile. And what we've now got is a set of research themes around the Sustainable Development Goals, around the Human Capital Index. But that necessitates interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary working. And so, for example, you might look at a theme of human nutrition, food security. Now that involves political scientists, economists, nutritionists, agriculturalists. And so we need to help people move beyond their college domains, beyond their disciplinary domains. And that's a change that you will also see. And you're seeing that sweeping across many universities in Africa through the centres of excellence, the ACE1s and the ACE2s, which do bring together this group of very talented, multidisciplinary people. That's another change you'll see. I think another change you will see is the university becoming much more of a business in terms of selling its products, in terms of guarding its intellectual property, in terms of patenting new ideas, in terms of generating income that we can put into our foundation that first and foremost supports the learners so that they can be much more successful. I think that's another area you will see. And I want to see a real focus in universities on two things. One is student welfare and the other is staff welfare. So people get this sense of belonging to the community. Because as soon as people feel isolated or undervalued, then the productivity and the effectiveness of that teacher-learner relationship, of headquarters and the college, of researchers with their deans, all of those relationships start to go horribly wrong and start to break down. You know, universities are not sausage factories, you know, we're not just generating numbers of students. And, you know, I think models of higher education that depend on large numbers of students just to finance universities are necessarily flawed, and mercifully we don't face that in Rwanda. But look, it's very easy for universities to say this is what we need industry to do. But I believe that there has to be something in it for our partners. In the same way that if I say, you know, I need some industry collaborations, I'm not being particularly altruistic. There's something in it for me. I need something from them. What is it that industries need from us? Perhaps they need us to provide, you know, tuition fee waivers for whole cadres of their staff. Perhaps they need non-credit bearing training or credit bearing training, and we can offer that in kind or in return in a quid pro quo type of relationship. For example, if I want to place students in an internship, I need to support the industry to be able to rate the students' performance. I need to be able to support the industry to develop and not to be hindered by the presence of students. And one of the many, many things that we're looking at doing is providing certification for industry. So if they so wished, in their reception, they could have a framed certificate saying, this is a teaching venue of the University of Rwanda. Because of course, We know from the evidence that teaching hospitals essentially offer higher quality care than non-teaching hospitals. So there's something that very special that happens when a place of work or of experience becomes a training or teaching institution. And what we want to see is industry being part of the learning organisation that's essential for young people to develop.